Okay, so welcome everybody to episode 1 of the Yogi Cast. There was an episode 0, which was kind of me basically explaining what this was all about. So if you want to go check that out, you can surely find the link either on yogicast.com or just go to iTunes and search for YogiCast and you'll find it there. So basically what this podcast is about is discovering the people and personalities behind the yoga accounts on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, basically all the people that are spreading this yoga love online and through social media. It just got to the point where I was seeing, I don't know, a lot of people kind of like throwing stones at people taking Instagram pictures and posting videos, and I think people are much cooler than what they're being given credit for. So the idea is, let's give everybody their fair shake. Everybody's got a voice, so let's listen to them, let's meet them, and then that way, anybody who would like to keep criticizing, well, at least they know a little bit about the person. So I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen, though, because it doesn't turn out to be that way. So one of the first people that I ran across on Instagram was Laura. And Laura, better known as, or at least AKA, Silver_Clouds, 2 S's. And I saw her account and I was like, holy shit, she can do a lot of pretty cool stuff. And yeah, so Laura is our first guest. Thanks a lot. This is pretty cool.
Very cool.
So, I guess since we already know the baseline, which is you're into yoga, you do yoga. I know that you've started teaching this fusion of yoga with dance at what place was this in? It was in.
It's a small dance studio in Queens.
Okay.
I'm from Queens, New York. I grew up there.
Okay, so where did I imagine that you were a dancer, right?
Yes, my history is dance. From when I was 6 years old all the way through college until I was 7 months pregnant with my daughter, I was dancing.
And how did kind of your I don't know, how did you progress through the world of dance? How did you get into it? And, what are you doing now with it, if anything?
Well, my mom put me in a combo tap ballet class when I was 6. I didn't love it, so I switched to jazz and took jazz basically my entire life until high school, when I finally, way late, realized I should probably be studying ballet a little harder. So I started taking ballet with my jazz classes. And when I went to college, I was actually a psych major, and it took me a year, the whole first year of college, to realize that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I was taking dance classes still, but nothing really felt right. So I transferred schools where I could go and be a dance major and really take it more seriously. And I graduated with a dance degree.
Oh,
and
yeah. And what happened in high school, though, that led you to, I have to study ballet much more?
It's actually kind of sad. My dance teacher passed away suddenly, and it was like he pushed me harder than anyone else had ever pushed me in dance before, and made me realize that I had way more potential than I even gave myself credit for. And it was then that I realized that I needed to take it a little more seriously, and that's why I wanted to transfer and become a dance major instead of kind of, trying these other things that my heart wasn't in.
Right.
So even though something really sad had to happen to make me kind of change my path, I'm grateful for Artie, was his name. I'm grateful for Artie, and I think about him all the time still. And every time I'm stretching and it hurts and I stretch further, I think about him. And it's just, things happen in life that you don't expect that make everything change. So
Here. All right, something that I think all right, I'm curious about. So you mentioned that basically a person pushing you really hard. So kind of, I from for example, I'm a total yoga noob. I mean, I've in high school I played baseball. I've gotten into MMA, but one of the things that I've started, kind of noticing in the yoga community is that there's kind of an apprehension towards the concept of pushing people in their practice, like kind of like what you said, if you're stretching and it hurts, I think the tendency is to kind of baby things a little bit and say, oh, don't do it, take it easy or something like that. Where do you kind of stand on where's that line, aside from physical injury, where's that line? And I guess, should a person be pushed? How do you identify this? How do you know this?
Okay, good question. As far as my own experience with this particular teacher that I'm referring to, when I say he pushed me, I mean, like, he didn't let me give up. He motivated me, and, maybe he was a little hard on me, but, it made me want to keep going. And as far as like hurting yourself or not, there's a huge difference between bad pain and good pain. So there's like, if you're in a stretch and it's causing like a bad physical pain that, something's going to rip or break or tear or something, you should be able to listen to your body and know that the difference between that and just stretching, like, oh, this is like a really deep, like, serious stretch, and you don't want to push yourself too hard, but you also don't want to come out of it just because you feel a stretch.
How do you know the difference?
You gotta listen. You just gotta listen to your body. You would know the difference. The difference is pretty obvious, because sometimes, I took a workshop on Saturday, right? And I was holding the pose, and my mind, the teacher who was leading the workshop said it really well. Your mind is going to want you to give up. Like, it's going to tell you, get out of it, give up, you can't do this. But you need to know that it's just your mind playing tricks on you.
That's some really good advice, especially because tomorrow we're going to the studio that we go to here is starting a new class called Gravity Yoga, and basically, I guess it's a series of poses that you hold for 3 minutes each pose.
Ugh.
See, my wife is sitting right over here, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, if she's
intense.
saying that,
That's
then
intense.
we are fucked. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. But
I could hold a headstand for 3 minutes. That's basically it. That's it.
That's you though, So okay, so but that's I think that's kind of, this is interesting, because for me it's like I come from a background of, until I got injured my senior year in high school, I had letters from all the Pac-10 universities, Harvard, some other Ivy League schools to go pitch for them. So to me, I grew up with a mentality of whatever the person coaching me says, I do. So to me, it's like, I don't know. I don't question things. So I understand the whole push yourself, don't give up, having an external force just saying, that it's like your mind wants to give up, you don't give up. Having that consciousness there surrounding you, I think, is awesome. But from what I'm seeing, it's like it's not very accepted from what I see within the kind of like the yoga community. But I don't see how you can't progress in a practice without breaking that barrier of, okay, I'm going to want to give up, but I'm still going to do it.
Right. It's, like I said, there's a bad pain and a good pain. And sometimes you have to hold the pose. Sometimes you have to go a little bit deeper. and feel the stretch before you just be like,
Describe
I give up.
describe let's see. Describe the concept of feel. The feel, the word feel. Like what are you going through at that moment? Like describe how where your muscle is going or where I can't even imagine. But
Well, I don't know if I can describe that for you, but I can say that, a good example is a split. Okay. That was something that I always struggled with through my whole dance career. And I only got good at them in yoga. Took me many, many years to get a full split. And it took even longer for me to feel comfortable in the split, right? So in my mind, when my legs were stretching and my hamstrings were pulling and my body was cramping up and I wanted to just never work on them ever, I would have to really relax and breathe. A lot of people forget to breathe when they're doing yoga. They like tense up and hold their breath and like, oh, just 2 more seconds and then I could go out and breathe. No, if you want to become comfortable and let your body relax and have it feel okay, you have to just breathe. And that's what when I'm in a pose that might be, a little tough, in my mind, I'm reminding myself to breathe. That's all I could think about. In and out.
okay. All right, I can see that. I think that whole idea of your brain wants to give up, but you don't. I think that's kind of the nail on the head.
It is. I mean, I literally was like in my mind when I really did want to give up. I'm like, I can't do this. I felt the tears welling up in my eyes. I can't do this. And then I have the instructor in my head. You can. Don't listen to your brain.
That's intense. I mean, shit. People would normally say that's where you stop. But
if you want to progress in your practice, sometimes you gotta muscle through. Sometimes, not all the time.
Wow, I would love for there to be an audience right now, just like going in but I don't see it any other way though, because it's like, if a muscle is going to grow, the muscle is going to tear, then it's going to rebuild itself, and then it grows, and then you do that tons of times over and over again, and you get stronger. I don't know. It's pretty simple, but I mean, you do have to tear it. So, but anyways, so okay, so you went in, you went in as a psych major, transferred over, dance. What did you do after?
After I graduated?
Yeah.
I became a kind of unrelated, but I became a pre-K teacher. But
Okay.
through the daycare, I opened a side business, a dance school.
Oh,
So
really?
it was connected to the pre-K, so it was my own business, but most of my clientele were babies. It was mostly like 2 to 5-year-old classes, like a creative movement for the youngest
Right.
2-year-olds, and then like from 3 to 4, 4 to 5, we would do like tap and ballet, and then I had a couple of elementary school age classes too.
And what was your experience like doing that? How long did you do that?
I did it for about 2 years,
Uh-huh.
and I stopped well, the reason why I stopped was because I was too large, pregnant. I was quite large. I was like 7 months pregnant when I stopped that.
Ah, okay. And is the school still running or?
I kind of signed over my half because I moved out of
Right.
the area. So
Right.
that was in Queens, and I
Okay.
moved to where I am now, and I signed over my half to
Right.
the owner. And I don't know if she still has it open.
Ah, and do you ever get the inkling to do something like that again?
No. It was fun for a little while, but I rather not teach the youngest age. It's very, very challenging.
I remember speaking to a couple who they run this program where it's nothing but yoga for kids and for really small children. And I basically asked them, so what's a class like? And you could tell that she really enjoyed what she did, but her face just turned into a, oh my God.
Exactly.
It's a nightmare, but we enjoy it. But yeah, because it's like you could just imagine just 10 kids just. I mean, they're not gonna follow what you're doing. They're just gonna run and scream and yell, and you're lucky if. And I've seen it sometimes in some grappling classes where they have grappling for kids, and you see that they're running around, and occasionally they might do something that seems like grappling, but then they go back to tickling themselves to just, and yeah, I mean, I think that, it can be challenging.
Yeah.
So
I'm done with that.
So right now, with the classes that you're teaching, this yoga and dance, explain to me a little bit about how that fusion came about and kind of what your special touch is on it, and where people can get more information for that and all this stuff.
Okay, to go back a little bit, I never wanted to do yoga. I was never, ever interested in doing yoga. And I really fell into it, thank goodness, by default, because it is really hard to find an adult dance class, at least in my area. Maybe if you go to Manhattan, there's plenty that you can take. But around over here, it's hard to find adult dance classes. So I had my baby. And I wanted to get back in shape. And the only exercise I've basically ever known was dance. So I didn't know what to do with myself. But my best friend loves yoga. And for many years, she's been trying to get me to go to yoga. I never wanted to. I thought it was boring, so slow, boring music, meditation, not into it. But like I said, she got me to go to a class. I took 3 classes before I was absolutely addicted. It took 3. And then I was hooked, and I never looked back. So I love yoga now. I love yoga as yoga, like totally what it is. But I remember that feeling that I had when I didn't know about yoga. I was like, thought all those things, those negative things. So my idea for the class, are you there?
Yeah.
You're breaking up. Okay.
Yeah.
So my idea for the class came from that. The class that I teach is kind of, it's like a dance class warm-up with a yoga touch. So people might not realize, but in dance, we do many of the yoga poses for warm-ups ourselves, the stretches. I knew... That was another advantage coming into yoga. I knew a lot of the poses already, down dog, bow, cobra, all these different kinds of things that I just did because I did a dance. So my class is super fun. We have like loud music. It's really upbeat. The dance class is more, the warm up to the class is more to the music. Like we're moving to the music. We do a lot of the same kinds of stretches as we do in yoga, but it's not like a vinyasa flow. Like I do a couple of sun salutations in the class to music, but it's not like the whole class isn't like a flow like that. We start on the floor, we do floor stretches, then maybe we'll have like 2 peak poses of the class. Maybe we'll do one inversion and one arm balance, like one halfway through the class and one at the end.
And you already gave one class or several classes?
I've done 2 classes so far as an introduction, and then the actual class starts in July.
And how did the students react to the class and to this type of fusion in with the yoga and the dance?
Well, I always say that if I had done yoga while I was dancing, I would have been a far better dancer. My balance is way better. I'm stronger than I've ever been. My flexibility is way better than it ever was. So the two classes that I offered so far, one was directed to dancers, and it's really to help their dancing, and they loved the class. Everybody, they're familiar with the warm ups because it's
Right.
similar to any dance class. So they had a fun time doing it. And then when we got in these classes, I did crow pose and I did wheel.
Okay.
A lot of them had trouble with crow, but had so much fun trying it out. And by the end of class, a few of them actually got it. And with the back bends, this was something that they were really familiar with. So I was able to show them how to safely go deeper into the back bend and how to apply it in other ways.
Well, you figure
And
they're really comfortable with their bodies and kind of pushing themselves to see how far they can go with things. It would seem like something that they would really enjoy.
they really, like, everybody had a blast in that class. It was really fun. And the second class that I did was no experience necessary, no dance, no yoga,
Uh-huh.
because a lot of times, there was an older crowd, and I slowed the class down a bit for them. And a lot of times, adults get nervous or intimidated by the word yoga. They
Yeah.
think, oh, well, I'm not flexible, so I can't do yoga. You know, you do yoga to become flexible.
You could do it. You're just not gonna do what you see
Right.
Instagrammers posting.
Right. So, and then the same thing with dance. Like, adults who, like, want fun exercise but never danced before would be intimidated to go to a dance class. So I really, for that second class, I really aimed it to these kinds of people. And the class also went really, really well. And at the end of class, I had a lot of my mother-in-law, 65 years old, came to the class. She had a
Wow,
blast.
that's cool. That's
So I
very
had
good.
jizz, and like I said, I slowed that class down a bit to, cater to these older people,
Yeah.
and they just had so much fun trying, and that's what I hope to continue with this class.
So what's kind of your plan? Because you have your daughter's what, like 6 or 7 months, something like that, or
She's 19 months.
19 months. Okay, so what are you planning on doing this more often, more frequently now? Waiting for her to go into like what, preschool or something, or in?
Well, I mean, my main job is a mom, a
Yeah.
stay-at-home mom. But in the summer, I'm going to be teaching 3 classes a week. So
Okay.
if the interest is there, and I could in September, if I could continue with maybe 2 classes a week, or even 3 classes a week, if there's enough interest, then I would just like to continue doing that.
That's good. So when did you exactly get started with the whole Instagram thing? How did you discover that, and how did you just start taking pictures, I guess?
Same thing. My best friend was already doing it.
The
She
same
was
best
like,
friend?
I'm sorry?
Same best friend?
Same best friend who got me to go to the yoga class was on Instagram. I had a personal Instagram account that I only started like a few months before. I was like I might have started my Instagram in December
Uh-huh.
and then made a yoga one in June, like
Okay.
the next June. Um, she was like, oh, yeah, people make fitness accounts and they post what they eat and their exercises. And, like, there's these great, she showed me Laura Sakura's Instagram. That was the first that I saw, and her YouTube channel.
What was your
So
reaction to that?
I probably wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Laura. Seriously. She's amazing. And she just, like, I mean, she was doing it for so many years, but, at the time when I met her, she was 36, 2 kids. She looked awesome. She could do crazy things. Very inspiring. Very, very
Yeah,
inspiring.
for real. I mean, it's like there's stuff that I see on her account that, there's also this artistic quality to everything that she's doing that really
Absolutely.
just adds so much value to it. But I mean, it's inspirational, and not just her though, but I don't want to make it sound like she's the only one, because really I think in general, everybody that you find, that, at least my own opinion, is there's a huge quality of, aspiring to one day probably be able to do something like that, or at least have, because it's like, and for anybody to criticize anybody on social media taking pictures of themselves doing these things, it's like, you have to realize that you don't just wake up knowing how to do that. You've sweated it out for so many years to get to that point. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, I think I'm getting a little sidetracked, but it's one of those things that really pushed me to start this podcast, to have these conversations, because it's like, look, you've put in so much time, so many years, more than likely, more than a few injuries, to be able to get to that point. Why can't you celebrate it?
No, I don't think people really understand sometimes, like, they don't, if you're not in the community, you don't understand all the support that comes with being in the community. Whenever I talk to anybody about this, I completely honestly say, if it wasn't for Instagram, the people on Instagram and the yoga challenges on Instagram, I would have never made a daily practice, ever. Because
really,
I danced my entire life. Did I ever practice at home? No. When I was in dance class, I was in dance class. When I was home, I was home. I am lazy. I'm lazy.
Okay, so then what's your daily practice like, I guess?
I have to tell you, when I first started doing yoga, I was practicing for almost 4 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night. And I did that for months until my daughter dropped a nap. And then I couldn't practice that much anymore.
4 hours.
4 hours. And that's why, people, besides my dance background, people wonder how I progressed so quickly. I put the time in. I really worked my butt off to learn this new craft or whatever, this new thing.
4 hours is intense.
For a few months, it was like that. And now I probably practice about an hour, maybe 2 hours, between an hour and 2 hours a day.
Okay.
There are some days that she doesn't nap and I can only get a half hour in.
Right.
But every single day. And I would never have done that, created that habit, if it wasn't for the inspiration and motivation from Instagram. Never.
That's it's so cool to hear, because really, I don't know. It's something that I think we forget a lot of times, that you never know when that little inspiration, where it's going to come from,
Mm-hmm.
and having all these images and all these people like yourself, just I think it just adds to this quality of not only spreading the consciousness of yoga as a thing exists, but also I think it pushes people to realize that they're capable of so much. To me, related, unrelated, when Baumgartner, the guy, jumped out of the capsule from in the Red Bull thing, to me, that was a moment. I watched it for the 3 hours. Swear to God, watched it for the 3 hours. I watched him go up in the capsule into like near space, and then jump out. To me, that's like the ultimate selfie, in the sense of it's really humanity at that moment saw something that they were all capable of, potentially.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna wake up with this person's skills,
Right.
and jump out of a balloon like 30,000 miles in the air. Of course not. But if you were to put in the time and
Right.
the effort and the dedication, and you would stop thinking and you just kept doing, wow, it's
Exactly.
it's pretty inspirational. It's pretty cool.
I get a lot of emails. How did you become so like X, Y, or Z? Or what can I do to get better at this? And, I give the advice that I can, but I always pretty much say, don't give up. Keep stretching. Even if it doesn't feel like you're making progress right now, you are. And that's why we really, try to suggest to take photos of your progress, because it's hard, and sometimes you get discouraged when you don't see progress on a day-to-day basis. I know I do. I'm like, oh, I'm not getting any better, whatever, whatever. But then I go look at something from 6 months ago and what I'm doing today. I'm like, look at that. There's tons of progress.
Yeah,
You would not
definitely.
even realize. And people who hate on the Instagram community and the fact that we're taking selfies, that's the kind of thing that I think they don't understand. They don't understand that it's a way for us to track our progress, to share our progress, to get inspired by others, and to inspire others.
Yeah, I think that's one, again, trying to learn more about yoga as just its history and so on and so on. I also think that one of the things that's happening is it's like it's I guess a lot of people are kind of like saying, oh, that's not the spiritual side, or just taking it for the physical part, and I guess they're assuming that being on Instagram, taking these pictures and creating this content is kind of separating yoga from like its essence and its core. Like it's splitting it up, and really it's like celebrating to I guess what many people might be the least important part of it, you know. But again, it's like I don't know. I see it on one hand that yes, it might not be the mantras and the what is it, like the eight
Progress.
arm things? I don't
Yeah.
know. I guess, but you know what? It's like it's still a big part of what the majority of people know yoga for.
Right.
You know? So I don't know. It's like it's just something that to me really bothered me because my job is creating content. So I absolutely value and love the work that you're doing, that every other person on Instagram is doing, even if they have 0 followers. To me, just creating that content and putting it out there for anybody to stumble upon, to me that's awesome because
Yeah.
it's like you never know who's going to be that person to inspire you. So I want to try something. Let's see if it works, which is basically I want to try going through your account and kind of commenting a few of your pictures. So this means, and I have to give a fair warning, that my computer might crap out because we'd be recording um, lots of sources of video at once. So, but hey, we'll see what happens. And in theory, in 3, 2, 1, we're recording my screen now. So let's see what happens. So if I don't know how familiar, well, I don't know if you have it open, but
I
one of
can't.
the, I know that you went to California recently, and this picture right here, I don't know if you can see it. It's the one where you are with Rivka Yoga, and you're on the beach, and you're both doing I don't even know what that's called. One leg in the air, really high up.
The dancer pose.
I think so. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's intense. That's an awesome picture, and we have to give props out to Brian Crawford Photography. Damn, that looks really, really awesome.
I'm trying to. Oh, here. I think I have it. Where's this
Yeah,
one?
that one. Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that was so much fun. I love Rivka. She is amazing. The waves were crazy, the rocks were slippery, but it was just such an experience and a beautiful beach.
And how'd you end up in California? Just go for a visit, or?
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine. was getting married. So I went out for the entire week. I was actually there for 9 days doing lots of wedding errands with her and preparing for the wedding. But there was a couple of things that I was able to do yoga related also while I was there. So I
And
really got lucky.
did you set this up, or did it all like how did all this happen that you all connected there?
Well, I had spoken to Brian previously. He knew I was coming to California, so he kind of wanted to set something up with me.
Cool.
I was not planning on going to San Diego. That picture is from La Jolla Beach in San Diego.
Okay.
But Rivka was so, like, thank goodness for her. She was so sweet. She was able to set up a ride for me from basically from LA to meet where I was staying in LA to meet her. And then me, Rivka, and two other ladies went all the way down to San Diego together. So I had never met them before, but I knew them on Instagram.
That's so cool.
And we, carpooled and road tripped it down to San Diego. And it was a big meetup, actually. I met a lot of people there. But
really?
Brian was there. Brian was there. And he asked us to go take some photos, and that's how it all kind of came together.
Did he also take that latest one with in front of the wood background?
No, that was actually also in California. That was actually in downtown LA. And my good friend Tina, who owns Workshop, WERK shop, that was a photo shoot for her new line that just got released today. So
those are some pretty cool looking leggings.
Thank you. They're, super high quality, like compression leggings. So
I have a problem.
What?
I have a problem. Well, I've gotten into today would be my 8th day going to yoga. So I'm doing a personal 30-day challenge to see if, and I'm really liking it a lot.
You're gonna do it. 30 days. That's nothing. You're gonna do it.
I actually have class today at 9. So, but anyways, what my problem is, I went out to yes, but leggings for guys.
Yes.
But leggings for guys that aren't black, that are meant for running. Because look at my shirt. I like stuff with colors and all sorts of stuff on it, but maybe I think not. I don't even know. But some leggings for dudes.
I know exactly where you're going with this. And believe it or not, Tina from Workshop is designing leggings for guys. And they're going to be awesome.
Well,
and
Tina,
they're going to have like designs that are masculine enough, but still original artwork that like
cool,
it's not
because
black. So
yeah, because I mean, it's annoying to all the time just be in these same dull ones. And the closest thing that I've gotten to something similar are basically they're rash guards for grappling, but more or less the same thing. But then again, it's like I don't want to really walk around, and I don't really want to go into a yoga class with like apes crushing like each other on the rash guard. It's like, all right, everything has
not very peaceful.
Yeah, everything has its moment.
And
those are great when you're grappling and rolling and everything. But shit, come on. I mean,
yeah.
So Tina from Workshop, whenever you get these put together,
I'll be sure to let you know.
I'm a customer. That's cool. Because I see a lot of the leggings that you're wearing. I'm like, shit, those look really awesome. And then I'm like, I can't wear those. But anyways, so yeah, that picture's pretty cool. I like it. Are there any other ones that you want to comment like that? What about this group shot? This group shot with Yogi and Noctem Flows.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about like with like our
La Makeup Andrew.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
That was at the workshop photo shoot. It was a professional photo shoot, so we got our makeup done and our hair, and was professional photographer. So
That's cool.
those other two beautiful ladies are also team workshop. So
Oh,
I have
okay.
so
Awesome.
much shooting in downtown LA with them.
So from these pictures here, which is probably your most a pose that you're working on right now that is bringing tears to your eyes?
Oh my gosh. Probably, actually, I just posted yesterday, and this was one of the poses that was killing me in the workshop, believe it or not. Warrior 2. Warrior 2, Warrior 1, all the warrior poses, they really get me.
Really?
It's like the fundamental poses that are the hardest. Absolutely. I could, like I said before, I could stay in a headstand for minutes at a time.
That's
Ask me to
funny.
hold Warrior 2 for 1 minute, I will be crying. I will
That's
be crying.
funny. Wow,
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that. I would have guessed it's like, just
You know,
rap.
when I was dancing, I had all my strength in my legs, no upper body strength whatsoever. And when I switched, I went through my pregnancy and, all that, childbirth, whatever. And when I started yoga, I was kind of starting from scratch.
Right.
So now my legs are way weaker and my upper body is super strong because I love inversions. I practice handstands all the time. So,
Wow, there's one here that it's the standing split variation inspired by the crazy strong and bendy fit flex Julie, where
uh,
you have
yeah.
these like striped leggings
Yeah.
and you're leaning against the door. That looks insane.
That was a little scary actually, but it was fun. It's a good stretch. It's a good stretch.
Wow.
My hamstrings are like a strong point for me. So stuff like that, like standing splits or bird of paradise, compass pose,
Right.
anything that involves and splits, stretching the hamstrings is like a stronger area for me.
I'm sure a lot of people right now are crazy jealous. So, what is it like? I see that you're promoting brands and stuff. Do you find yourself that you're finding good people to work with, so on and so forth?
Yeah, I try to make connections with the people that I'm working with. I don't want to just work for everyone or
Right.
anyone. I definitely have to like the product. I always have to try the product before I try to promote it, of course. If something doesn't seem right, I kind of go with my gut and
Right.
don't do it. And vice versa. If the product is great and I could make a strong relationship with, the person from the company who I'm working with, even better. And that's what I really like. The stuff that you see me promoting the most are the close friendships that I have.
Right. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, because it's like in the end, it's like I think especially when you have a community of people that follow you, that they trust you, because in the end it's also, if you start just promoting anything, oh wow, the trust that people have.
Oh yeah, you can't do that
Yeah.
because people look, my account's not that big or anything, but there are people who are looking to me for suggestions, advice.
Right.
They see what I'm wearing, they think it's cute, maybe they want to buy it, whatever. I can't, like, that's somebody's money,
Right.
I don't want people throwing their money away on bad stuff.
Oh, I saw one of your pictures, this In and Out picture, and I'm gonna have to change topic really quick because
Love In-N-Out Burger.
that's another thing that I wanted to ask you. It's like, what about diet? Like, where do you stand with this whole? How hardcore are you with diet in relation to your practice? Have you noticed anything? Where do you stand with that? Because anyways, I'll go into personal stuff later, but
What's my diet like?
I
um,
don't.
I believe, listen, I'm one of these people who thinks like it's important to eat what you want as long as you do it with oh gosh, the word was just in my mind. What am I trying to say? Everything in moderation.
Uh-huh.
Everything in moderation. I personally love ice cream. I love ice cream. I could eat it every night. So if I want ice cream every night, I make sure to eat a little bit of ice cream. You know, I love pizza. Do I eat it every day? No, but I eat it. I'm not very strict with my diet because um, I'm not like a bad eater in general. I don't like
Right.
snack. I don't snack a lot. I don't eat junk food. I don't like eating, you know, chips and stuff all the time. I like fruit. I like cool, refreshing types of things. I like my vegetables. So I know personally that my diet's pretty balanced. So when I want something that's, you know, if I want to go to Magnolia Bakery and get a big ass cupcake, I'm gonna do it. You know?
Well, yeah, I mean, because there's tons of theories like you already know of, diet affecting, your elasticity, so on and so forth. And I'm curious always to know kind of because obviously, I think yoga is really tied into this, eco healthy conscious movement of and and yeah, it's interesting to see kind of. I think you hit it. I think it's everything in moderation, obviously, but yeah, it's just curious to to get a little peek into what people.
I always get a little embarrassed when people ask me about my diet because I'm not strict with my diet. I think I kind of lucked out with good genes.
Have you ever tried or dabbled in any particular, you know I hate to say diet, but yeah, diet or
The only time I ever put myself on a diet was after I had my daughter because I wanted, you know, it was really important to me to get back in shape. So I basically cut out a lot of things. You know, I didn't eat anything with bread or starchy
right.
anything. Um, I like doubled up on vegetables to fill me up instead of eating other things. That was really the only time that I was really strict with my diet. I didn't have a lot of ice cream during that time.
Wow. You know,
um,
I
I'm doing like a little bit of a detox right now,
oh yeah, I've
but
seen it with
like
some
with
some
tea.
teas. Yeah,
Yeah,
explain that to me a little bit.
the tea is delicious. I'm actually, you know, I'm not usually a tea drinker, but it was really interesting to me and I'm glad that I did it because the
It
tea is it's so good. Like I wake up uh-oh, what's
yeah,
happening? Hold on. You still see me, right?
I see you.
Okay. I look forward to drinking it, which is so weird because I'm a coffee drinker usually.
And these are Team I blends
Yeah, teamy blends
oh
or team
Teamy
high
blends,
blends,
Teamy blends.
and they do way
Teamy
more than
blends.
just the detox. But I was always kind of interested in doing a detox to see how it would make my body feel and how it would make me overall, like how it would affect my life. And I'm about to go on a cruise, so what better time to do it?
Right.
And I mean, I haven't, I'm a small person to begin with, so I haven't really seen, like, it's only been a few days. I'm not like seeing a big difference, but I feel good. You know, I feel
Right.
great.
And what how did sorry, which teas have you tried and which one's your favorite so far?
I'm only doing the detox right now, so it's like a combination of, it's called Skinny and Colon.
Okay.
So you drink Skinny every morning, and that's my favorite. It's delicious. And with a little honey, I put. And then every other night, the colon. I guess it's like a colon cleanse.
Okay.
And it's really simple. And it really hasn't. The only thing that it's changed is that I have a cup of tea instead of coffee, and that's great. So has like natural caffeine in it.
Okay. Sounds good. You're gonna have to let me know. When do you finish this?
Um, when I leave for my cruise, so probably I don't know. I don't know if it's exactly 30 days. It's supposed to be 30 days, but I leave on the 6th, So that's going to be my last day doing it.
Ah, okay. All right. And let me see. Well, we could go picture. Oh man, this last picture that we'll look at. This picture with you on the lawn with those balancing on the what's
With
it called?
the bars, the parallel bars, like the
Yeah,
PVC.
yeah. This one's
With
intense, also.
wait, I'm trying to look for it. The one with the handstand or the arm balance?
1 week ago, balance pose.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Thank
So
you. That was scary a little bit.
what?
That was a little bit scary, but it was fun. Very
And
fun.
how did was this at the meetup or?
Yeah, that was in San Diego. One of the other yogis that was there had brought these little parallel bars, and I had never tried anything like that before. And she like encouraged me to just give it a shot, and it was super fun. I'm so glad I did.
That's cool.
Yeah, you
So
never know what you can do until you try.
you got that right. So let's see. Any last comments before we start wrapping up?
I guess like basically what I want to say is kind of what we touched on before, just like, you know, we're not hurting anybody by doing what we do. And I hate that other people have to send out all this negativity into the airwaves, you know, like trying to cut us down because, you know, we're not, like I said, we're not hurting you. So why should you care what we're doing, you know? And one thing that really upset me was just that, like I said, if it wasn't for Instagram and the yoga challenges motivating me to practice every single day, I would not be where I am today. And the people who are sending the negativity out might stop the Laura from a year ago who
Right.
wants to start yoga and needs motivation from ever starting. And all those people whose lives can benefit from yoga, you know, seeing this negative, it hurts me in a very like personal way. And
Yeah, to me, I think it's in part. I think it's just haters that it's like instead of putting in the work, they're just throwing a stone, and that's it. You know, because it's like you're saying, you're not hurting anybody. You know, it's not like I don't know, but very cool. I'm glad that you exist, that you're taking your pictures, that you were on episode 1, which is even better. I'm sure that a few episodes in we'll touch base again because you know, first guest is always a very special guest. So let's do a solid to all the people that support you, except for the people that I work for. Want to keep things separate. But yeah, anybody that you want to particularly mention so that they get a little bit of love in this first episode.
well, I mentioned Tina from Workshop, Sam from Love Zuvi, who also makes leggings out of recycled water bottles, which is so cool. You know, the tea that we mentioned,
Yeah.
delicious, seriously delicious. You know, I work with Glider Apparel, who make great yoga or workout apparel that, you know, I really, you know, believe in also. And, you know, anybody else, Kay Deer, I don't work for her, but I'm a huge fan and have done photo shoots with her. She's Christine Deer. She's amazing. And basically, you can find all the information, my discount codes, anything like that on my Instagram, Silver Clouds, like you said.
All right.
And that's basically it.
So, everybody, if you're not following her, go and follow Laura at on Instagram at silver_clouds, 2 S's at the end. And you have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/ what was it, Laura H Yoga?
Yep.
Laura H Yoga. And say hi, leave a comment, like the pictures, share her stuff on Facebook. And if you're in the, what would it be, New York area, right? New
New
York
York.
area, sign up for one of her classes. And man, this has been fun. I liked
Yes.
it.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. So I don't know who will be on the next episode, but there will be a next one. Hopefully, let's not have this be a one and done thing. So yeah, we'll keep these conversations going. And if you like the podcast, one of the best things you can do, if you really want to be one of these great human beings on the planet, a really good person, there's two things you can do. You go to iTunes and you subscribe to the podcast. And then after listening to this episode, and maybe the first episode, leave a review. And if you leave a review and you subscribe, you're going to be one of the best people on the planet. Or not. But at least you're trying. So thanks a lot. And yeah. Anything that we can do for anybody, just drop an email at jimmy@yogicast.com. And oh yeah, and if anybody wants to receive updates whenever there's a new podcast episode, go to yogicast.com and subscribe to the mailing list, which will basically include announcements to the new podcasts. And I don't spam because I hate that shit. So you will not suffer anything that I hate. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm done.
Yay!
All right. So thanks a lot, everybody, and thank you, Laura, especially. This was
Thank
awesome.
you.
And so yeah, so anybody who's listened to us up until now, I love you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.